Welcome to a new series of RADHARC. I don't know whether you're going to like what we have on offer tonight, but one way or another it should help to make you more thankful for some of the ordinary things of life. Things like a home, a good education, a job, the ability to hold a job, a little money in the bank or post office. These are ordinary things, and yet not everybody has them.
It takes 5 butts to make a cigarette. The butts are easily found if you know the right places to look, and they provide enough tobacco to make a king-size cigarette. The paper you'll have to provide yourself, and it takes quite a bit of skill and practice to pack and roll it so that it doesn't shed its precious cargo of tobacco as soon as you place it between your lips. But it's well worth the trouble, and when you have it finished, you can look forward to 7 or 8 minutes of something approaching happiness. Poverty takes many forms and exists in many degrees. Modern society has banished poverty to this extent that no one need die of hunger anywhere in Dublin today. Even the most destitute knows that he'll get enough food to keep alive, and that is something for those who have nothing else. And there are those who have nothing else, no home, no work, no income, no prospects of any kind. The clothes they wear have been cast off by others. They are unemployed and unemployable. They are studied by sociologists, watched by police, surveyed by statisticians, condemned by the righteous and given alms by the soft-hearted. They exist rather than live, sheltered by state and religious institutions, fed by charitable organizations, avoided by their fellow citizens, moved along by the authorities, jeered at by children. They lead the most public and the most private of lives. Everyone knows them to see, but scarcely anyone knows them to talk to or understands just how or why they have drifted into their present hopelessness.
So trouble, like going in and out of prison the last 20 years. I started off in reform school in 1944, or 2 years in Tangan. Ever since that time, when I'm in them now, only after finishing the term of penal servitude.
How long?
3 years.
And when you get out of prison like that, do you have your money and clothes?
Oh
and
yes, you're allowed to earn 6pence a day while you're in prison. That's 3 and 6 a week.
Well, you must have had a few bob after 3 years, huh?
Well, I had £8 a hand actually, because there was 1 and 9 like for the spend and 1 and 9 like to keep, like for going out.
Well, was that not enough to give you a start?
No, Father, that wasn't enough.
What did you do with the money when you came out?
Well, actually, when I came out, I met a few of the lads and we went off drinking, celebrating.
So it was all gone?
It was all gone.
And have you any prospects of starting into a job now?
No, Father. No prospects at all.
Well, you see, if I went to work, I can't stay in jobs. My old head goes on me. I can't stay in a job.
I see.
I might lose my temper
Yes.
and I might start cursing and swearing and I
Yes.
say about this place.
Yes.
They won't give much, they won't give that.
I know.
But I used to say that a lot.
I'm out of work now about a month exactly now.
Yeah. And where were you working before?
But the last place I was working now was with the Dublin Corporation.
Yes.
And I happened to be sent to a place where I didn't know, and when I come back on a report that I couldn't find where I was sacked, I was told there was no use on the job. Like, I made a claim into labour. I was told I couldn't get none, that I wasn't long enough in Dublin, and that I wasn't residing long enough in Dublin,
Yes.
and that they were sorry they couldn't give me anything.
So there's nothing at all coming?
There's nothing at all, no.
Up to I was nearly 20. I was working mostly as a messenger boy.
Yes.
And I've done 17.5 years in the army. Out now 2.5 years.
And you've no pension from the army, have you not?
No.
Why not?
Well, I came out before I done the 21.
And so you get nothing at all from the army then?
No.
Did they find work for you when you left?
No.
After a year idle now, will you find it hard to set to and start working again?
Well, now, for instance, you could say, well, now I'm after being out of a job for a long time. I'll stick as long as I can.
I know.
Get a couple of stamps and that'll keep me for a while.
Well, I could get back to work tomorrow myself, I know that for a fact, but at the present moment I'm just messing about until I find myself some proper accommodations, and then I'll...
Well, do you find this an easier and more pleasant kind of life than a working life? I mean, you don't have anything to do.
No, I'd rather be working myself, you know. I'd rather have something to do, but at the present moment, you just don't care what you're doing.
The day can be long when there's nothing in particular to do and nowhere in particular to go, but eventually you work out some kind of daily timetable for yourself. There are day shelters where you can go to get out of the rain or out of the cold, or just to sit down somewhere and take the weight off your feet. If you come at the right time, you may be given a cup of tea and a slice of bread. Fine weather, there are the public parks where you can sit and enjoy the sun. And when the day is bad, there are the public libraries where you can get a look at the day's newspapers and where the central heating is strong enough to dry out wet clothes. Sometimes you walk around, but walking on city pavements is tiring, and most of the time you sit and talk, or just sit. It isn't very exciting, but it puts in the time, and somehow or other the minutes pass and add up into hours. At first you feel the uselessness of it all, but after a while it becomes a habit, and you don't feel anything anymore.
Oh, well, just mostly come up here in the morning, get a drink of tea, leave here then, and on my way down I'll go in and get the tickets for to go down and get me dinner into Longford Lane, you know.
What's Longford Lane?
Well, it's a place run by the nuns down at Whitefriars Street where they make the food, like, for people.
Yeah.
And
you get your dinner there?
yeah, it's cheap, like, you know. And after that then I'll probably walk about the city messing about until it's time for go back into the back lane for the night, or into the Ivy or wherever I'm going to go to stop, you know.
Yeah. What's the sack for?
Gather the old bottles.
You gather bottles
Yeah.
and you put them in the sack?
Yeah.
And where would you get the bottles?
Well, I get them all around this part of the city.
You go into houses, do you, and ask them?
No, I go in, I never ask people. People know that they give me money, but I never ask them for people money. They say, they gave me a tenner there one time ago, and another woman gave me a pound note one Sunday, and I thought she said, don't go near the bins, because sometimes there's cop race gets onto me, and the people won't let you near the bins at all.
Yes.
And I don't like saying it to people, because they might ring for the police out there, and that's what I'm afraid of.
So you just
And
take
I
the
do take
bottles out of
shortcut.
the bins, do you?
Yeah.
How much do you get for the bottles?
I only get a shilling every day. Sometimes I get 2 shillings.
Well, a lot of them, like, goes into bookie shops.
Yes.
And they do bet on horses.
Yeah. Where would they get the money?
Well, I suppose on the dole, you know.
Yes. Dole wouldn't last you very
It
long.
doesn't
betting
last, it
nowadays,
doesn't
would
last, no. Suppose a lot of them tries to get away from that, you know. But if they got something to do, they wouldn't go so bad on them.
Yes.
They take their mind off
Yeah.
it.
Well, when I get a few bob, I buy a smoke, buy a bit of grub, and if I've anything over, then I try me looking to bookies with it.
And supposing you get a win on the bookies?
Well, if it's anyway reasonable, I go in and have a few drinks. Well, if it's not, then I'll hold it to tomorrow.
When a man gets a few shillings and the first thing he's going to do is he's fed up, hanging about, walking about, and he'll go into a pub and he'll have a few drinks. And the next thing he drinks his rent money, and that's it. He's out.
Well, I think I'll take your advice and try and stop that gambling, Father. Say a prayer that I stop it. Try and say a prayer.
Sure, I suppose life wouldn't be worth living if you didn't have a few horses now and again coming up, huh?
Of course, you must be
To
a
go
bit
national
cheerful.
and that.
You must.
That's true.
You cannot go around with a long face. You can't. Or you're being scrapping like some of these fellas.
What about dinner now? Where would you get your
I
dinner?
got the flour there, and every Monday and
That's
Tuesday.
the Little Flower...
Meath Street.
Meath
And then I
Street.
go to Henry Street.
How much do they charge you at the Little Flower place?
Tuppence.
And what sort of a dinner would you get?
Get stew every day,
Yeah.
and soup, and 3 cuts of bread, but still I'm
Yeah.
not able for it. I do throw in the delivery with the boards.
Do you?
And I go into the green, and I just see the boards on the ground and throw in a bit of bread, you know.
But most of the diners at the Little Flower Centre are well able for the food that is provided for them. The Little Flower Centre is only one of a number of food centres spread all over the city that provide a substantial hot meal in the middle of the day for many hundreds of people. The charge is nominal, and those who don't have even the few pence for the meal ticket are given a meal just the same. You get a main course of meat and vegetables for your money, followed by dessert and a cup of tea with a couple of slices of bread. Everything is provided except the cutlery. So you provide your own spoon and make sure to take it safely away with you again for the next time. But if food is easy to obtain, drink is a different matter. Drink costs money, even that mixture of cheap wine and methylated spirits that's called red biddy. And there are other expenses that can arise: a packet of new cigarettes, a ticket for a football match, flutter on the dogs or on the horses. For all these things you need hard cash, and if you're not going to earn it, you'll have to beg for it. Begging in the street may land you in trouble unless you're careful, but convents and presbyteries are safe enough, and if judiciously worked, can provide a steady source of revenue.
You'd see that father such and such in such a place was giving out 2 bob or a shilling,
Yes.
or maybe a half a crown.
Yes.
They say he's a good guy.
Yes.
So he says, you get down there, I've had it already. So I goes away and I does my best to get that half crown.
Yeah. Well, you not think you might be drying up the golden goose that way?
It might happen that way, but when you're in desperation, you never think of anything else.
Yes.
See, you're thinking of your bed at night. You say, well, if I get a half crown from Father O'Brien, would say, and I get a tenner from somebody else, and maybe a shilling from a friend, I'll have the price of my bed, and I won't be in the park tonight.
That's it. You often say the market among themselves.
Yeah.
What's the best way to get the money?
Yeah.
What is the best way, and who will they ask?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do some of them make a lot of money out of this kind of living?
Oh, they do, yes.
How much would they make?
No, I stopped one person yesterday, and she showed me near 10 bob in tanners. You'd have to collect it off of every person.
Just stopping them on the street?
Stopping them on the street, yeah.
Well, do some of them have a regular place that they go to each day of the week, like, and people...
All regular customers.
Have they?
No, yes, regular.
How much money would they make in the week now? Like a fellow who was really good at this?
A fella's really good at it, so I'd say he'd make near £2.10 at it.
Would he?
Goes around the whole place, yes.
£2.10 a day, would he?
Yes. Goes outside this territory.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Well, these...
That's the chap over there I was telling you about, the fella.
Yes.
He's one of them top notchers.
And he makes about £2.10
£2.10, yeah, that.
Well, he's not around here now, is he?
And he'd go over to this convent that we were speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know that convent?
Yes.
Milltown.
Yes.
He'd visit that place.
Yes, and he'd get a free...
And he'd get it free.
Free tea
and
a
a bit of charity off of them.
Yes.
See?
How do they manage... Are these fellas good talkers, or how do they manage to get charity so easily off people? I'm sure you don't find
That's
it so
it.
easy.
You see, there is people that doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Well, these live fellas, you see, is able to get around these fellas.
I know.
That's the whole trouble.
Yes, there are fellas very good at it. I suppose they were born to it. Some say they were born with their hand out. Well, I don't know. I leave that to the tinker or somebody like him. But any man that came from a family that was reared in a good family, he'd never beg. I couldn't beg. I might go to a priest, as I said, and get a shilling out there. Fella told me where to go. And I honestly, when I do go, it's like facing fixed payments.
I often seeing the men down and out in the road coming down. You'd be standing at the car. I often seen him turn around, giving a man the price of his bed, to get a bed for the night. I often seen a man pulling up a very well-off man and asking him if he could help him out towards the bed, and I've often heard the man tell him to get out of it, get the cops for you. So there's a difference between the poor man and the rich man. The man that's down will always help his man that's down with him.
Yeah.
And the men that are up always like to keep the men that are down well down.
When evening begins to draw on, the question of where you're going to spend the night becomes uppermost in your mind. As more and more of Dublin's old houses are being boarded up and marked for demolition, it becomes more and more difficult to find a place to sleep. The old tenement houses usually had a corner in the hall or on the stairway where you could curl up for a few hours, but the tenement houses are fast disappearing. The lodging houses are going too, places where you could get a bed for a shilling a night or less, but now rapidly being reduced to mounds of rubble beneath the pickaxes of the demolition squads. If you're an outdoor type, there's plenty of alleys and disused lots and all the broad acres of the Phoenix Park to choose from. But in the winter time you like to have a roof over your head. So when evening approaches, you set off for one of the city hostels and hope for the best. Dublin has quite a wide range of hostels for men, with something to suit nearly every taste and pocket. The Ivy Hostel is one of the best, but also one of the most expensive. At 4 and 6pence a night for bed without breakfast, it's within the reach of the more affluent only. The Morning Star Hostel caters for a lower income bracket. This large stone building off North Brunswick Street is under the care of Brothers of the Legion of Mary, and an average of 140 sleep here every night, with supper before they go to bed and breakfast in the morning before they leave. For all this they pay 1 and 10pence a night. The building was once a workhouse and still has something of the grim appearance of the old-style poorhouse, but inside it has a dining room, billiards and reading rooms and television. But even if you don't have the 1 and 10pence for the Morning Star, there's always Back Lane, one of the hostels that makes no charge at all. But there is one snag: you can only stay 14 days at a time. If you finished your fortnight, or if the hostel is full when you get there, your prospects are not so bright.